Welcome to Am I Wrong? I'm Hannah Givens.
I'm Melissa Rush, and this is our final episode of Am I Wrong?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Time flew by so fast.
And guys, this is my first episode on this show. Usually Anthony is sitting in this spot, but I just wanted to be a part of the show today.
She took over Anthony's spot.
Yeah, I'm usually the producer, so this is really fun. This show is basically just about going on Reddit and finding Am I Wrong stories and kind of giving our opinion on it, as well as kind of considering other people's opinions as well. So are you ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's just jump right into it.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the first story, and that is, am I wrong for asking my wife to postpone her birthday plans? My wife, 43 female, and I, 46 male, had plans to go to a restaurant for her birthday. It was just going to be us, not a larger gathering. This was a weekday, so this was going to be dinner out after a normal work day for both of us. I realized 2 days before her birthday that the day of her birthday was the same day as my weekly community sports match, for which I'm a team captain. The team doesn't need me to play, but I already missed the last 2 weeks of play because I was out of town, and I didn't want to miss a third week. The restaurant she planned on required advanced reservations, so it would have been easy to go another night. I asked her if it would be okay if I played my match and did dinner another night. She said she'd prefer to go out on her birthday. I explained to her that I'd rather play in my match because I've missed a few weeks, and she again said she wanted to keep our plans for her actual birthday. So then she said it hurt her feelings that I'd asked not to spend her birthday evening with her so I could play sports. While I agreed to keep our original plans, the situation caused a fight, and she wound up going to dinner alone on her birthday. Other context is that we live overseas, so our close friends and family are far away. We have a few acquaintances in our local community, but not close friends. Playing in my weekly match is one of the highlights of my week. The reason I missed the last 2 weeks of my match was because we were back home visiting her family, and I really didn't want to miss another week. Am I wrong in this situation if the situation were reversed? I wouldn't care if my wife spent my birthday with me or not. Info, some people miss that I was out of town with her visiting her family. This doesn't mean I'm trying to say it's her fault I was away. She also takes off work and misses things to see family too. So, what do you think?
Wow. I definitely think he is in the wrong.
Yeah.
The fact that it ended up causing a fight and she ended up spending her birthday alone.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, that's really, really sad. And like he said, it's not something that they need. The team needs him to be there to play.
Especially since he just missed the past 2 weeks. Like, clearly he's not, like, an essential. And also, it's his wife's birthday.
Yeah.
Like, it's a valid excuse.
It is a valid excuse. And, like, it's so sad that she had to spend her birthday alone because he wanted to play sports.
I know.
Or watch people play sports.
It seems, I don't know, just like he's not caring about her feelings at all, and he's just he's just not considering, like, she doesn't have any other family around, like,
yeah,
no one wants to spend their birthday alone either.
Yeah, he was kind of using that as an excuse for himself, like, the sports match is the only community time he gets because he doesn't have family around, but she doesn't have family around, and she had to spend her birthday alone because of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's definitely in the wrong in this situation.
Mm-hmm. And people actually voted him in the wrong. And he said, appreciate the perspectives here. Clearly, I'm in the wrong. So at least he was able to, like, accept that. I think he probably already knew he was in the wrong, but he wanted, like, an outside perspective just to kind of see, I guess.
Yeah.
But, I mean, how could you not know you were in the wrong? Like, it's your wife's birthday. Get it together.
She had to spend her birthday alone because of that. And that's so sad.
I know. I feel so bad for her. She deserves better.
She deserves better.
Queen, go get your actual husband.
Your actual husband. All right. Are we ready to move on to the next story?
Yeah, on to the next one.
So the next story is called, Am I Wrong for Refusing to Give My Grandparents My Late Husband's Life Insurance Payout? My husband passed away suddenly last year, leaving me and our 2 kids completely heartbroken. He had a life insurance policy that paid out a significant sum, and while it doesn't make up for our loss, it has given us financial security. A few months ago, my in-laws approached me with a request. They wanted me to give a portion of the money to my late husband's grandparents, his mom's parents. Their reasoning is that they're struggling financially, and my husband would have wanted to help them. I do feel bad for them, but the thing is, they never really had a strong relationship with us. They didn't even come to our wedding, claiming it was too far, even though they travel for vacations all the time. They never made much effort to be in our children's lives either. And now they suddenly think they're entitled to the money my husband left for his family, which in my mind means our kids and me. My mother in law has been calling me selfish, saying they are elderly and struggling, and that I should honor my husband's memory by helping them. But I feel like this money was meant for our children's future. It's not like I'm hoarding it. I've set up college funds and I am ensuring we're stable. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think so, because they never, if the parents had made an effort to be in their life, then I would say maybe like split it or like give them a little bit of it. But since they've never been in their life, never went to their wedding or anything like that, I don't think it would make sense for them to give the money. Like they're basically strangers to them.
Yeah.
And I think they're just kind of using her in a way because they want money.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't think she's in the wrong.
Yeah, I don't think they're in the wrong, or she's in the wrong either. Yeah, it was like if the parents were in their life, it would be a different story, sort of. And, you know, she could help them out. But also, the money was made out to his wife and kids, sort
Yeah.
of for a reason, I'm sure. And if he was never close with his parents, then, you know, why should they be getting a sum of the money that's going towards their kids' futures? And like she said, it's not like she's hoarding it.
Yeah.
It's just she's setting up college funds for her kids.
Which that's a great way to do it. I'm sure that's exactly what her husband would want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did it say if he made a will or anything, or did he pass away before he got the chance?
It sounded like, oh, he had a life insurance policy that paid out a significant sum.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think she's doing the right thing. Like, it's not like she's using the money to like go on vacation
Yeah.
and stuff.
If
Like,
she was using it for like personal things, maybe she could help out families.
Yeah.
But like she's using it to set up her children's college
Future.
funds.
And like this is really hard on them because they're actually in like the husband and the dad's life.
Yeah.
So like this is like something a little bit that can help them in the
Mhm.
future because they're not gonna have their dad anymore.
Yeah.
So
I don't think she's in the wrong.
no, definitely not. That one was an easy one. Like definitely not. Like those parents can go away.
Those parents can go away.
Okay, ready for the next one?
Yes.
Okay, on to the next one. Am I wrong for walking away when I was asked to apologize? For context, I used to be best friends with a guy who we'll call Brad and his girlfriend who we'll call Diane. Brad, Diane, and I used to all eat lunch together with a few other friends. I am usually very chatty and social, but my grandpa had been in the hospital the past few days and I wasn't as chipper as usual. So when Diane asked me to go with her to throw something away, I said yes so I can explain the situation to her. This wasn't abnormal for us to leave the guys for a few minutes, as this was usually a chance for us to talk without them. When we were away from the guys, I apologized for not talking as much and explained how my grandpa was in the hospital. She stopped me mid-sentence and said, "Do you like my shirt?" She was wearing one of those black shirts with that tie-dye with a bleach heart. I confused responded with, yeah, I guess. Can I get back to talking about my grandpa who's in the hospital now? She proceeded to sigh and saying, I guess. By this point, we had finally gotten back to Brad and the rest of the group. They saw we were obviously upset, asked about what happened before we could explain. Diane had stormed off, leaving me to explain the situation. After I had said what had happened, Brad asked, why can't you just say I'm sorry? It's important to note that until this point, I had been apologizing to Diane, no matter if I was wrong or not, simply because I thought it was better than fighting. However, after some much needed therapy, I decided to stop doing that and had determined I shouldn't have to always apologize when things aren't my fault. After he said this, I was almost in tears because I felt like those months of progress were going down the drain. Here's where I may be wrong. Instead of staying to explain why I was upset, just like Diane, I stormed away without explaining or clearing things up. As I walked away, I could hear Brad telling his friends, what did I do? Which just made me more upset. So am I wrong for walking away instead of explaining why I was upset? No.
I don't think she's in the wrong, no.
Yeah.
I think she might have been able to handle it better because she was sort of upset at Diane for doing the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
walking away without explaining. But sometimes your emotions get the best of you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you just can't answer right then.
I think I definitely understand like why she just stormed off without explaining, because like you said, like in the heat of the moment, like your emotions can get in the way, and she probably just didn't want to say something she didn't mean or like cry in front of them or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's probably why she just like stormed away. And yeah, it's at the same time, it doesn't really solve the issue that's happening, because now everyone's confused. They're like, why is Diane storming away? Why is this girl storming away? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
So I know maybe like,
It definitely doesn't help the situation, and there's definitely a more mature way to handle it. But I also don't think she's in the wrong necessarily.
no, I think she could have just said, I just need a minute to cool off, and then I'll explain what happened, and then cool off, and then come back and maybe calmly explain the situation. But then again, like Diane's not being mature.
No.
So
I
it's
think
like,
Diane is definitely in the wrong for making it all about her when this girl's grandpa is
yeah,
in the hospital.
yeah. Like, do you like my shirt? Like, can you just listen to me for 1 second?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she just needs better friends, honestly.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right, on to the next story.
Yeah.
All right, so our next story is called Am I Wrong for Not Punishing My Daughter for What She Said? My husband and I are slightly more well off than my sister's family. Because of this, my parents do more for them than they do for us. When it comes to gifts for my daughter, Maddie gets things from the dollar store, while my nephews get Lego sets, iPads, and even Disney trips. If my sister needs babysitting, they will drop everything for her at the last minute. If I need it, I have to give them a 2 weeks heads up as well as proper payment. Because of this clear favoritism, my daughter doesn't have a good relationship with them. If you ask her about her grandparents, her mind automatically goes to my husband's parents because she forgets she has 2 pairs. Earlier today, we had a rare meetup with my parents. My daughter asked if she could go on the trampoline outside. My dad said no because it's for my nephews. My daughter begged, but my dad still said no. Maddie then stomps away and said, "This is why I like other grandma and grandpa more." My parents looked at me expectantly, but I didn't do anything. I recently got off a call with my mom saying I should have told Maddie that was wrong to say. I told her, "What do you expect? She thinks you guys hate her and you do nothing to dispel those thoughts." She just got quiet for a bit and said, "I still shouldn't let her say something like that to the family," and hung up. My husband is on my side, but he also isn't a fan of my family, so I need an outside opinion. Am I wrong?
I don't think so, but like it's a tricky situation because like I personally like wouldn't speak to my grandparents like that no matter what.
Yeah.
Cause like how old is she? She's like 7. Yeah,
Yeah.
7. And like I get like there's clear favoritism. Like I don't think she's in the wrong because the grandparents haven't been too great for her. But then at the same time, like it's hard to imagine like ever speaking to your grandparents like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's definitely a tricky situation because it was disrespectful. It was really rude of her to say that. But also, I feel like kids are pretty blunt most of the time,
That's true.
too, which has to be accounted for. And also, like, she's sort of been treated badly by them all of her life. So, really, should she be punished for just saying something that sort of was on her mind?
Yeah.
Like, it was really disrespectful of her. But I also don't think the mother is in the wrong for not punishing her for
Yeah.
saying something like that.
But at the same time, when kids are at that young of an age, they don't always have like their own thought process about these type of situations. Like because the grandparents are like this is pretty much like all the kid knows. So it makes me wonder if like the parents are kind of like putting that into her head, like they're saying it, like, oh, I like your parents better or whatever. And so that's why like the kid is kind of repeating it, because kids do that. They repeat what their parents
True.
says. So I don't know, but I don't know. It's maybe she should have said something, but I don't think she's wrong because I understand.
Yeah,
But
I think maybe she could have had a talk with the kid about it, but
Yeah.
not necessarily like punished her
because
for
two
it.
wrongs don't make a right. Like
Mhm.
I don't know. Like sometimes you gotta be like respectful to people who aren't to you, you know? I don't know. But I get it. It's just a tricky situation. I don't know. It's hard.
Right.
Oh, and then there was an update on the story too.
Oh, yes. So the update is just got off the phone with my uncle. Apparently, Dad called him ranting about how disrespectful we are. Apparently, this all stems from me going to college. Dad said since I had to be all hoity-toity and go to college, I shouldn't need his help and I should be living the easy life. He also said I'm selfish for trying to take help away from those who need it. Not sure what to think about all that. He's never brought up having a problem with before. I'm going to discuss this with the rest of our family because with the holidays approaching, I don't want to cut everybody else out to avoid them. So I'm going to ask how they feel about all this.
Ooh, this almost makes me want to change my answer just a little bit. Like maybe the parents shouldn't be in their life. They do not seem like good people. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's a really mature thing to like not cut out the rest of the family because of this and like have a talk with them about it.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a lot of people who probably would just completely cut out the rest of the family and like just not go to family gatherings. So I think that is a more mature way to handle it.
Yeah.
The parents do not seem like great.
Yeah, I feel like it would, I don't know, I feel like it'd be easier to make the decision if we were like actually watching it go down, like we were another family member, but like it's hard because there could be things missing in the story. I don't know. This is a tricky situation.
It is a tricky situation.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up our stories for today.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, and this was our last episode. Yeah. This was really fun. I love this show. Fun. Yeah.
I love having you on.
Thanks for having me on. Much appreciated.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Am I Wrong? I hope you agreed with our opinions, or maybe you have a little bit of different ones. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Again, I'm Melissa Brush.
I'm Hannah Gibbons.
And thanks for watching.